You win with people, not with talent, so the quality of people is very important when building a team. I always look for people with a solid value system. Then I look for people with a cross area of different personalities. This is the mantra Herb Brooks lived by. And for those of you who don't know, the handout I've just given you gives a few background points about who he was as a person and what he was famous for. Today I'll be talking about 3 main points of what he was famous for and who he truly was as a person. The first being having a team-first mentality not only in athletics but also in relationships. Brooks is still very much a respected individual in the hockey community today. And finally, he's best known for the Miracle on Ice. So why is Herb Brooks such an inspiration or someone I admire? Well, a quote that he has said time and time again really resonates with who I am as a person on and off the ice. When you pull that jersey on, the name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the one on the back. I myself have always been a team-first player on and off the ice, and that quote just describes who I am. He is a true leader and always did his best, not letting others' opinions or judgments affect him. And finally, he's a big believer in hard work, which is my true driving force in life. And without hard work, you're not going to be as successful. Brooks was a role model for me and helped shape me into the person I am today, along with the help of my family. And that is why I admire him. So back to the 3 characteristics. The first being having a team-first mentality. In athletics, in an effort for the 1980 Olympic team, Herb put them through grueling practices and conditioning to help them be competitive and as well to forge a team spirit or team bond as well as a commitment to winning. He put them through the conditioning to help them create a common bond or a team bond by having something in common, such as hating him. And let's face it, you win as a team and you lose as a team, so having that team bond creates that team-first mentality. In family and relationships, most of us have family and relationships we're involved in and need to maintain that bond. And Brooks believed that he did this by giving back to them, because if you give back to them, they're willing to give to you. He's still very much a respected individual in the hockey community today. For those of you who don't know, there's a thing known as the Herb Brooks Award. This award was established shortly following his death by his daughter Kelly, son Dan, and cousin Bill. It goes to 4 high school state hockey players every year during the Minnesota State Hockey Tournament. 2 in the girls and 2 in the boys, 1 in each class. The award represents the characteristics, traits, and values that defined Herb Brooks, some of which include the true love of the game, willingness to sacrifice, integrity, strong leadership qualities, and commitment to the school, team, and community. He had very unique coaching theories as well. He believed in a hybrid style of play which combined the Canadian hockey school and European hockey school. He put pressures on players, making them reach their full potential every day in practice. He set a winning mentality up, and when he recruited players, he looked at people first, athletes second. I want people with a sound value system, as you can't buy values. You're only as good as your values. And he also learned that you can't put greatness in people, you attempt to pull it out. Many coaches have adopted this outlook when recruiting college athletes today. He had the attitude of taking great individuals and forming great players. He became very adaptive in life because when going from a player standpoint to a coaching standpoint, it can often be difficult, and his personality completely changed because of it. He became way more intense and driven and had a major willingness to win. He wasn't a player's coach, and he pushed people mentally, physically, and emotionally day in and day out and helped them reach their full potential. So at the time, the players that he had hated him, but in the long run, they ended up thanking him. But as a player, he was the exact opposite. He was a practical jokester on the ice, always relaxed and having fun playing the game he loved. Finally, Miracle on Ice. For those of us who don't know, it took place during the Winter Olympics of the year 1980 in Lake Placid, New York. Americans and the Soviets went head-to-head to reach the gold medal game. The Americans upset the world and the Soviets by beating the Soviets by a score of 4-3, which shocked many individuals considering the Soviets were much more experienced and they had just beat the US by a score of 10-3 a week prior to the games. And because this was such a shocking moment in history, it actually was the greatest sports accomplishment of the 20th century. and this could not have been done without the help of Herb Brooks, who many thought was crazy for putting together his Olympic team in under 3 hours of watching them play. But he showed them wrong and turned 20 young men into exceptional hockey players. So Brooks lived by his way of thinking, and if you didn't like his coaching style, you could basically suck it up or quit. A quote that this is how he described his coaching style. I think I put a lot of pressure on players, and I had a lot of expectations. I didn't give them an out, and I think I was always able to find the kids who were really competitive. He pushed and beat guys up on the ice day in and day out to help them reach their full potential. Then when it finally reached the gold medal game, he gave the infamous Herb Brooks speech, which I'm sure many of you have heard of, and it helped set the players up for success during the game by giving them a faith and belief that they could actually do the unthinkable and beat the Soviets. Because of all this, Brooks is a true legacy who lives on not only in the hockey community, but also in every community. Due to the fact that Miracle on Ice was such a great moment in sports history, it eventually was made into the movie in the early 2000s. So for those of us who weren't around or were unaware, it made many of us aware of this great moment in sports history. Herb believed in a team-first mentality, unique coaching styles, and went down in history as accomplishing one of the greatest moments in sports history of the 20th century. And for that, he can be an inspiration to us all. For those who are unaware of the movie or story, Herb was famous for saying the saying again, which if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what scene I'm talking about. He had many great sayings, but that one was most memorable to me, just like him.